I am Ranjan Tiwari. Today I am going to teach you First Flight for class 10th, a very important poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. This poem is written by Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris is a great English poet. He wrote so many poetries and his poetry is a very important his poetry deals a very important task for the human beings, and he distinguishes between uh, freedom or prison. A Tiger in the Zoo is a symbolic poem. Through this poem, Leslie Norris wanted to say the a difference between a natural habitat or an artificial habitat. In the present time, the people of the world lost their natural surroundings. They totally adjust themselves in artificial surroundings. There are so many poets like Leslie Norris describes about these things. Here, poet contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. Zoo is the artificial world and the natural habitat, the natural jungle is the natural world. Tiger was the symbol of strength, symbol of power, and how his strength or power, how his strength and power became or captivated in the zoo. So, haunted in the zoo. Poet here describe this poetry moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again the zoo also. First, I want to read this poetry. Please listen carefully and try to understand the message of the poet. He stalks in his vivid stripes a few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet lake. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. In the first stanza, we find the natural beauty of tiger. The tiger's body full of vivid stripes. He stalks in his vivid stripes a few steps in his cage on pads of velvet white in his white rig. Tiger was in zoo. Tiger was in cage, and poet described about the tiger. The tiger's body full of vivid stripes, and the cage is a very beautiful. The pads of velvet white, and tiger moves few steps in his gait, but his facial expression is not in a happy mood. He was in quiet rage. In the second stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. In second stanza, poet described about the tiger in the natural habitat in the jungle. And the poet suggested tiger. The shadow means a dense forest is the natural habitat of tiger. So the tiger should be lurking in the dense forest, sliding through the long grass. Long grass is the place where tiger hides himself and wait a plump deer near the water hole where plump deer pass. And the tiger was in long grass, hide himself in the long grass, and he waits there when a plump deer pass through the water hole. It is the natural habitat of tiger. In the third stanza, he should be standing around houses at the jungle's edge, bearing his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. The third stanza is described about the natural habitat of tiger, and poet suggested tiger. The tiger should be standing around houses near the jungle's edge. A house situated on the edge of jungle was the place where tiger moving around the village and bearing his white fangs, his white teeth, and his claws terrorizing the village. The people of the village who saw the tiger and who became terrorizing. Fourth stanza, but he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bar, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. In the fourth stanza, poet describes about the zoo. In the present time, tiger was in the concrete cell, was in the zoo, and his all strength behind the bars. He was unable to do anything, and he ignoring the visitors, the people who came in the zoo to see the tiger, but tiger ignoring the visitors. In fifth stanza, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and starts with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Here, the fifth stanza also describes the atmosphere of the zoo in the night. In the night, the patrolling cars running on the road, and tiger hears the last voice at the night. And at that time he sat in his cage, and his brilliant eyes were up in the sky, and he saw the brilliant stars. This shows the prison, this shows how tiger loses his strength in the prison, how tiger loses his power in the prison. Like that, in the modern age, we became artificial. We are in the cage, and we also lose our strength, our power, and our natural requirements, like the tiger. So through this through this poem, poet describes about the natural habitat or the zoo, and some stanzas who related to the zoo, or some stanzas who related to the natural habitats. And this is a symbolic poem. So you go through the book and you read out this poem again and again, and you try to understand the message of the poet, and you also try to answer the questions given in your textbook. And I hope you are able to answer all the questions. Thank you.